Welcome to,
I like your
oh,
background. Very
oh,
nice.
thank you. I'm trying
Yeah.
to be consistent. Okay, let's get started. Welcome to another episode of Reading of Wisdom on the Front Porch. I have both podcasts. And Sarah is going to be actually on both podcasts. She'll have her book on reading between the words. We'll mention it just a little bit here. But Sarah, tell people a little bit about who you are.
Sure. Yes. My name is Sara Im. I grew up in Cambodia. Um, when I was away from home in college in 1975, when the communist regime took over our country, I
Mhm.
get trapped into the situation, and um, they pushed me out of the city, and um, they shut down the country, and I was separated from my family. I cannot reach them, cannot contact, don't know what's going on. So we did not hear from each other for 4 long years.
Oh man, that would
Yeah,
be long.
yeah, during those 4 years, I was put in the work camp and pushed to work extremely hard, long hour in the intense sun, and was given very little food, very little time to sleep, and no time for rest. So as a result, I become very sick, and they sent me to an infirmary, something like a hospice.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but thank God, I believe God was hearing my prayer, and the next thing I know, I was able to sneak out from that infirmary, and I went out and find a job. This within the work camp, within the whole concentration camp, and working in the kitchen was able to help me to recover my health. So that's how I survived the first time. And
The first
after,
time, was there a second time?
oh yeah, yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my goodness.
yes,
Oh my goodness. Now, is
yes,
all of this in your book?
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. What's
All
the title of your book?
the title of my book is called "How I Survived the Killing Fields." So
Okay.
here how my book look like.
Oh, there it goes. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
And that's you on the front of the cover?
yes, yes.
Wow. That's a beautiful photo of you. How
Thank
I
you.
Survived the Killing Fields. Well, I know that you have your book, but you're also a speaker. You've got an amazing story to tell. What else do you do?
I promote wellness. I help people to take care of themselves, to well, take care of themselves,
Yeah.
especially eat right, exercise, and take the supplement and all that to prevent disease. And now I focus on helping other wellness business to gain exposure, to reach out to their prospective client through event planning. So I plan event for the wellness professionals.
Wow, that's amazing. So here you went from going to college, ended up in a concentration camp, and now you're a speaker, you're a coach, you help a lot of other people, you're an author. That is just incredible. Um, so my question for you, and I ask this a lot of our entrepreneurs, why do you do it? What really drives you to do all of this?
I I think what drive me to do this is to help other people to now getting getting sucked into the system,
Mhm.
and help them to build up their resiliency build up their confidence and courage so they can do whatever they need to do to reach their goal.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I love that. And I tell you, I have to our audience, I have recently met Sarah um, through Gary Rogers, who has a phenomenal workshop every week, several workshops. I don't know how he does it, but I just found you so fascinating, Sarah. You've got, excuse me, such a heart for others and you want to see other people succeed. It's not, this is my business and I'm making money at it and you need to be my client. It's like, what can I do to help you be a success, whatever that means to you? And I love your heart for this. Do you find there's some challenges along the way?
Yeah, there are a lot of challenge along the way. Uh, we know when we live in this world, there will be challenge, but we don't let the challenge stop us. We
Right.
don't give in. We don't give up because we can build ourselves up, be stronger to handle those challenges.
Mm,
So, so that's the reason that keep me moving, keep me going to help people, help the mindset. I'm about mindset, about determination, about the attitude toward life. So if we don't give in to the obstacle, we can be a winner. We can win our life.
absolutely. Oh, I agree so much. 3 years ago when I started out, it's 3.5 years ago now, I didn't even know about mindset. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't even know about podcasts. Isn't that weird? I knew people listened to channels, but I didn't understand what a podcast really meant. And so obviously having your book opened up new opportunities for you, gave you credibility, authority, and you've taken it a step further. When you first wrote your book, did you ever think you would be doing all these other things?
No, no. I thought that the book will do the job. You know, when people read the book, they know all about it. But
Yeah.
no, people sometimes a lot of my good friends they bought the book because they want to support me, but they don't read it. They want to hear me talking.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so true. I've heard that from other authors. And it's like, you got my book. Why didn't you read it? It's in there. But I think as people, we want that personal connection. It's great. I have audiobooks. I have paperback books, hardback books. I enjoy it. But I love this one-on-ones. Part of why I like the podcast because we get to talk, we get to find out about the journey. If I have questions along the way, I can ask and get answers. So yeah, it's that interaction. And I do love to read. I love to listen to books while I'm, cleaning the house, working outside, whatever it is that I'm doing, working on projects, a painting, whatever. It's nice to have that audio behind there. Um, so I want to ask you, where can we find your book right now?
Right now, my book is available on my website. It's saraim.com. It's spelled SARAIM.com
Okay,
slash book. If
awesome.
you yeah, if you click on the tab say books, you will find the book there.
That's, I love that. Wow. So here you've gone through this, and I want to get back to your story too. But how did you get into becoming an entrepreneur, a coach, um, and then an event planner? I know it's all steps, but what was, you wrote your book and then what happened?
Well, I wrote my book 10 years ago, and people invite me to speak at their group here and there all over.
Nice.
And yeah, yeah. And that's become part of my business because it takes me away from my other business. I have my health and wellness business at the time,
Okay.
but yeah, yeah. So uh, when people want to hear my story in person, I enjoy doing that because
Yeah.
I hear, people told me that I had changed their life. And
Oh, that's just amazing.
yeah, one woman uh, told me a few months later after she listened to my talk. I didn't know that she came in my to be in my audience. And when I saw her at a different occasion, she confronted me. She said, "Sarah, good to see you." I said, "Oh, yeah. Where did we met before?" And she told me that she was listening to my talk and she said, "I have changed her life." I said, "How?
Um,
How?" She said she had been suicidal all her life. And
oh,
she is in her late 20 at the time. She says, "Since I
wow.
heard your story, I changed my mind. I changed I changed my direction.
Oh,
I stopped thinking about killing myself. Now I hold on to this job and I have my own apartment and da 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 da.
wow.
So that just gave me so much satisfaction that even if I don't sell a book or make any money, it's worth doing this
Yeah.
because I can save people's life.
Wow. That is absolutely incredible. There is nothing better than hearing that you really impacted somebody's life. And we never know if we're going to do that, whether we write a book, have a podcast, you know, have a speaking event. You just never know. And some people think, oh, I don't have anything to say. My life, wasn't exciting or impactful. No, but you had a life. There were things that happened in your life. You can talk about that. And and it's amazing. I had somebody come up to me at lunch one time when I was working in the factory. This person had never come up to me to have lunch with me before. And she just started conversation and she's like, I was just told by my husband that I need to keep my mouth shut because she was talking about her faith. And he goes, you don't live your faith, so you don't have anything to say. And I thought, oh my goodness, she was heartbroken. She felt so deflated. And I said, it's your faith, it's not his. If you have something to say, you need to say it. And I say this for our audience to know that don't let other people tell you you have nothing to say or that what you're saying doesn't matter because you didn't live out what you're saying. Um, our value comes from inside of us, and that value comes from all the choices we've made through our whole
Mhm.
lives, no matter what it was. And that value is what makes you worthy. That value is why you are enough. And that value inside of you is what people want to hear. That's why
Mhm.
they talk to you. That's why they ask you questions. Or maybe one time they come and sit at lunch with you just to be encouraged. And the strange thing is I'd seen that person at work though we never had lunch again after that. It was like sometimes you're just there for one moment in time in someone's life. And for you to do that for that young woman, to change her whole outlook like that, that is just amazing. And I thank you for your courage to speak on this, to open up, to let your voice be heard about what happened. Um, that's just incredible. We just never know how our
Yeah,
words are going to say anything. I remember
yeah.
hearing a story about a gentleman who just smiled at somebody on their way home from work. And the person that he smiled at had determined that day, if nobody smiles at me, if nobody looks at me, I'm going to go home and kill myself. But one person smiled at him, and so he didn't do it. And he goes on to tell that story. It's just incredible how each one of us can connect with somebody else. I mean, I
Yeah,
love being able to connect with you, Sarah. And if I hadn't have known Gary and attended his webinar, I wouldn't have ever met you. So, sometimes we need to get out of the house, so to speak, and just go do something different. You never know where your life is going to lead you. Now, I want to get back to your story um, about being in the concentration camp. I know this is Wisdom on the Front Porch, and we talk about entrepreneur's journey, and we've done that. But you said there was two times. So tell us a little bit about that. You're in this concentration camp, you got out?
I got out from the infirmary,
Okay.
and someone was for directing me to go and work in the kitchen.
Right.
So while working in the kitchen, the job is much easier than working in the rice field.
Yeah.
And I got access to more food, work less hours, work in the shade, and all of that helped me recover my health. If
Yes.
I did not get that opportunity, I probably did not make it through.
Right.
And
Right.
then
But
when
you
they saw,
created that opportunity because you said you snuck out of the infirmary. Is that right?
yes, yes,
Wow. You
yes,
never know what's
I
going to
prayed.
happen. Yeah.
Yes, I
That's
prayed.
that faith over fear. You knew there was a fear there, but you also knew you had to do something. And so
Yeah.
you did something. Wow.
So that the first time I realized that situation saved me from going under. And
Right.
then they pulled me out from the kitchen, put me back into the rice field again. Work as hard as it could be, 15, 16 hours a day and
Uh,
under the intense sun all day long, 7 days a week.
Plus, it's very humid. I mean, if you know humidity, because the rice fields, it's all water. And with that kind of sun, that just takes it out of you even more. You've not only got the heat, you've got the hard work where you're bent over all the time. And then you've got that humidity constantly, plus the sun reflecting off the water beating in on you. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So for 4 years, I worked like that for 4 years. And then, well, I got sick on and off during those 4 years. And then at the end of 4 years, they moved the camp. The, the camp got moved into the jungle. When I know the direction that they are going to move us into the jungle, I realized that I need to get out. I need to get out from this group because my goal is to be able to find my family.
Mhm.
Remember, I told you that when I went to college, I was separated from my family.
Right.
And when they shut down the country, I have no way to contact my family. So that had been in my mind all this year. It's my goal that I want to go back to my family. So when they moved the camp to the jungle, I decided I'm going to find my way to escape. It's
Wow.
very dangerous, very dangerous. You
Yeah.
can get killed on the spot when they see you sneak out. So I got a three good friends to to move with me, to escape with me because I
Wow.
was I was frail at that time. I become sick again and all that. So I need support. And my friend decided to come with me to support me. So that that was a praise, a big praise that I don't have to struggle by myself.
Right.
And so this is a very dangerous action.
Yeah.
And we made it out. We made it out. God protected us. God guided us
Wow.
because the jungle is dark and we sneak out at nighttime and we don't have the GPS.
Yeah. You don't have flashlights.
No flashlight,
There's
no
snakes. There's
GPS.
other things out there besides, the military that wants to end your
And
life.
we never been to that jungle before, so it's
Oh,
all
wow.
strange to us. But thank God we were safe and we were out.
Nice.
From
Wow.
there, from there, I was able to keep walking, and finally we saw some people, and we asked for direction to my hometown. So from there, um, I keep moving, and finally I found my family. It,
Wow. That's
yeah,
so
it's
good. Yeah. So your family was still in your hometown?
no, they was evacuated as well, but they was able to come back to a place where they can get settled. Well,
Okay.
it's a long story, but in a book
Book,
explain,
read it.
yeah, yeah. But they have been liberated. The whole country had
Okay.
been liberated 4 months before I get out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And 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 our camp, we were still in captivity.
And even though the country's liberated, they're not releasing you. You're still there. Well,
Yeah.
I know that is one book I would get, and nobody's going to bother me when I'm reading it. I'll go get a hotel room or something and just stay by myself to read that book. Wow, that had to be terrifying. Gosh, no wonder you're strong to go through all of that and keep going and so you have your business, you have your health business, you're helping people get healthy, and you decided to write a book. Why did you decide to write a book after all this time? And you have your own successful business, so
Well, there's a few things, but
okay.
maybe I'll talk about one thing. When
Alrighty.
I used to attend a networking meeting because when we have a business, we go to network with maybe
Yeah.
people. So
Yeah.
the word start to get out that I have a bike story that people want to hear. So the lady that lead that group, she asked me to tell my story. This is before I wrote the book.
Okay.
So while I'm telling the story, one lady in the group was crying.
Oh,
I didn't know what happened, but later on I found out that she had a teenager that killed himself. So put two and two together, I realized that wow, if this young person heard about how life can be so hard, he may now take his own life because life is hard. It's not
it
easy.
is. It is. And you've got
So
proof that that's true because here you had a young lady who heard your story who was going
yeah,
to take her life, and you changed that. So, yes, you possibly could have changed that young man's life. And who knows, how many other lives you've helped by telling your story. That's just, oh man, I've got goosebumps, I tell you. That's just, yeah, we,
yeah, so that's
yeah.
one reason that I decided to write my book. That was the 35 years after I got out. So
Wow.
it had been a long time. I didn't want to write a book. I didn't have any intention to write a book.
Right,
But
right,
the circumstance come up and I just maybe that's how God is leading me to do
right.
it.
Right.
So, mm,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Oh, really love that. So how did you get into the health and wellness industry? I understand, in my mind, I understand you did it because of your own health and you want to help other people get there. But how did you're in Cambodia, here you are, you're in the US now, am I correct in assuming that? So
yeah, yeah.
how did you do all that? How did you get to where you're in the US, you've got this successful business?
Yeah, when I got to the US, I don't speak any English, so I learned the language and I registered for college and I got my degree. And and after I got out from college, I got a job, a good job and so on. And I got married. And after I got married, I had to move a couple times. So I had to quit my job a couple times. And then the third move, no, after the second move, I have a hard time getting the job because I did not show stability in my
Right.
job. So I have a hard time landing the next job. So I got recruited into 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 a like a independent consultant
Okay.
to promote a product line.
Yeah.
It's
And then
just
you can do that anywhere.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's give me an idea. Say I don't need to worry about the next move, about the next relocation. I
Yeah.
have my own business. So that's how I got started.
Awesome. And that's wonderful about being an entrepreneur because your business goes with you wherever you go. I know a couple of people young families who have sold their home, sold just about everything they had, put everything in a travel trailer, and they're moving all over the country with their kids, showing their kids what the US really is, giving them that firsthand experience in history and culture and people and in life. And they're doing great because their business travels with them. That's just amazing. That was good thinking. I'm glad you discovered that. Um, so you've got this product, and then you've moved on to doing a health and wellness whole course and stuff. How did
Yeah,
you happen to get into that?
my my first business that I promote, it was not a health and wellness. But
Okay.
later on, I met somebody that introduced me to a health and wellness business. So I love that. I love that more because I I did not forget my background. You
Yeah.
know, I was so sick. I almost did not make it. And I
Oh,
don't want to see anybody going through the sickness, through the illness, anymore. So if they
yes.
do the proper thing, they take care of themselves and, you know, take care of take the supplement, eat the right thing and all that, they should be healthy and
Yeah.
not worry about being sick. So that's my thinking at that time. And I still think that way too.
Yeah. Uh, that's so true. My husband and I just had an incident with our bull, our longhorn bull. And I know that drinking water has helped a lot. It's only been a couple of weeks, and one day this week, my brain was just so foggy, and I realized I hadn't been drinking any water and or any kind of liquid, no coffee, no tea, nothing like that. And it's like, I need to do more. And the next day I felt so much better.
Mhm.
And I know part of that is still the healing process, but our bodies need to rest. That's when we really heal. That's why we
Yeah,
sleep a lot when we're sick, because it needs to do that. But we need to be feeding it the right things. You're not going to heal if you're eating donuts and cookies and all of this and desserts are good, but everything in moderation. You need to have the other great nutrients, and that's different for every person.
Yes,
I and it's different for every age. Now that I'm white-haired, a little older in my years, my body is changing for how it absorbs nutrients and how foods react with it. And as you get older, sometimes you get parts taken out. And then there's another change there too. So, and then if you have allergies and you take allergy medicine or get the shots and all of that, that's changing everything in your body as well. So you have to look at the whole picture. And I love that's what you do. You look at the whole picture, what works for each individual person. And that's so important.
yes, yes. Yeah, the drinking water is very important. That's the first
Mhm.
thing that we should consider. Did I drink enough water? So we have to be conscious about that. I have a good friend who live not too far from me. She had to fly to Boston
Uh,
um, right away for emergency. She have a daughter. All of a sudden, her daughter is just like clamping and could not
oh,
move, could not talk, and they took her to the hospital and everything. She was so afraid that her daughter might have a heart attack or stroke. So she found out that her daughter is only in her 30, was
right.
dehydrated.
Oh, wow.
Dehydrated. That's all it took.
Isn't that something when we take that, when we deny our body the water that it needs? I mean, our bodies are made up of a lot of water.
Mhm.
And yeah, it is really strange. And so here's something I learned going through EMT and all of this. When you take your hand and you pinch it, you see I still have a little bit of skin there that's there. And if it's still kind of pinched, if it doesn't go back down flat, that means you're getting dehydrated and you need to drink more fluids. And yes,
Mhm.
I do need to drink more fluids than what I have. I haven't had that much this morning. But that's one way to check because, yeah, in the medical field, I've seen people get dehydrated, and it's just amazing how one thing like water will change your whole body. It changes how your brain functions and everything else. And for some, it's I don't like the taste of water. Water is boring, so put some flavorings in there. I
Yeah, just
remember
squeeze a
hearing.
little bit lemon.
Yeah, yeah. I remember hearing one exercise coach. Gosh, this was when my babies were babies a lot of years ago, and we were just learning about nutrition and being hydrated and things like that. Boy, that just makes me sound so old. But they were talking about how now there was this new product out that you could just add something to your water to give it a little bit of flavor, and they were wondering, is this good for you? Is it healthy? And the woman that's the professional, she says, I don't care what they put in it. Even if it's got a little bit of sugar in it or something, they're drinking the water. That's what's important. And, we do have to be careful we don't put too much sugars and other things in our bodies that aren't healthy for
Right.
us. But she brought out a good thing. Just put something in your water to make it taste better. I know people who put fruit in their water besides the
Yeah.
lemon, and it's like, well, that's interesting. But yeah, just drinking something. And I know
Yeah.
some waters, like where we live, we have boil notices and all this stuff. So we've got this filtration system set up on ours, and the water was really gross. I did not want to drink our water. Now, I remember at my grandma's, they had a lot of sulfur in their water because they lived around volcanic activity, and that water tasted like tin cups when you drank it. And it took a while to get used to it. Here, I don't know what it is, but we've got the water filtration set in, and the water's really good. You put some ice in it. Ice makes everything taste better. Somebody says it's kind of because it kind of freezes your taste buds so you can't taste it. But who cares what it does? As long as you're drinking the water and you're staying hydrated, that's so important. So do
Yeah,
the pinch test and see if you've got a little bit of skin stain up there. And if you are,
yeah.
drink a little more water. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yours is going back so nicely. Mine kind of stays up there and it's like lizard skin. But oh, Sarah, I am so glad that I met you, and I'm so glad we get to be on this podcast. Then you're going to be on my other podcast, Reading Between the Words, talking more about your book, and we'll go more in depth on that. But I loved your story of how you've shown us how going from one thing that you enjoy to find something that works for you and opens up more doors for you, more opportunities. So we need to not be afraid to take that first step.
Yeah.
How do people get a hold of you? How do we connect with you to learn about nutrition, or we have events that we need to plan and get out there to get our voice heard? How do we get a hold of you?
The best place to find me is my website,
Okay.
saraim.com, just
And
like
that's
my first name and last name.
yes,
S SAR.
SARAIM.com.
Yes. And also I'm on LinkedIn a lot.
Okay. Me
The
too.
my LinkedIn name spelled just like that, Sara
Okay.
Im. So that's
Um,
two best place to reach me.
all right. All right. Thank you so much for being on my show today. And audience, I really hope you connect with Sarah. She's wonderful to talk with. She talks from her heart. She treats you like you're a real person, not just you're not a customer type thing. She just really wants to get to know you and help you achieve your goals, help you have a better, healthy life so you can enjoy that life. And Sarah, thanks again so much for being here. SaraIm.com. And we'll see you next time on Wisdom on the Front Porch. Do you have
Awesome.
do you have any
Thanks.
closing thoughts for us before we go? I should ask you that.
Oh, my closing thought. Um, well, I like to go with this. Whatever you like to do in life, start with your mindset.
Mm,
Set your mind to it. Have an intention. Have a purpose. The purpose has to be better than yourself, bigger than yourself. It's not just the purpose for you. It will benefit others. Like when I was in captivity, my purpose was my family. I
mm,
will do anything to survive just to go back to my family. So for you, the same. I uh, I hope that you have a purpose in mind so that it can direct your life to be successful, and with the right mindset, with positivity, with gratitude, you will be there. Thank you.
Oh, that's beautiful. I'm so glad I asked that question. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, our audience, for taking the time out of your day to either watch this on YouTube or to listen to it on the different podcast channels. And we'll see you next time on Wisdom on the Front Porch.
Thank you for joining us today on Wisdom on the Front Porch with your host, Ellis Kirkpatrick. You can find us on our website, wisdomonthefrontporch.com, see previous episodes of the podcast, and view issues of the magazine. Did you know you can submit questions, leave reviews, or suggest topics? You can also tell us where your favorite front porch location is and what it means to you. We hope you gain value and insight from today's or previous talks. We appreciate your support for us so we can continue to provide value and expertise to you and others. Subscribe to Wisdom on the Front Porch magazine and join in next week when we bring you another great insight into the world of entrepreneur culture and lifestyle. Make today a great day. Always believe that something wonderful is going to happen.